Okay, hey everybody, this is Andre. Okay, my rent versus own. Pretty simple. So here's what I tell folks. Okay, so hey, let's cut to the chase. I want to make this pretty simple for you guys, right? So, is it fair for me to say that pretty much, hey, no matter what's going to happen here today, are you still going to take a vacation? You're still going to go, regardless. You buy this, you don't. Are you still going to go on vacation? Yes? Are you sure? Awesome. Well, that, by the way, congratulations, because that's the hardest part of our job usually is to convince people to actually make that commitment to themselves. So congratulations, kudos to you. So that being said, by the way, thank you, because that is the decision. You've already decided, hey Andre, I don't know when we're going, where we're going, but we're going. That's the decision. So in this building of ours, there's never any decisions being made. The decision is that. Are we going or are we not going? So you told me you're going. So here, to keep this pretty simple, let's do it this way. You've already determined you're going to be going. So basically today is just going to become a choice on how you want to do it. Since you're going to do it, let me show you. Let's cover that. So it's going to be a choice. So what I'm going to do is we're going to list down your way. This will be you and how you've been doing it since up until now. And this is how Wyndham owners do it. Fair enough? Draw a little line down the middle. You, choice, you, and Wyndham. So I'm going to list your way here, and then I'm going to show you how Wyndham owners do it. And at the end today, I promise you, you're going to choose one or another, and I'm fine with either one. Okay? I'll respect your choice. I won't understand it, but I'll respect your choice. So your way. Basically, you already told me you guys do about a week, 10 days a year. So let's do 7 days, whatever they tell you. So 7 days a year. Okay. Typically, when you go on those little getaways, what are you comfortable paying? Don't tell me the cheapest deal you ever found on the internet, you know, where you had to go like this and step on bugs and say, honey, it's okay, go back to sleep. And not the most expensive because it was an anniversary. What are you comfortable paying for those accommodations? Every time they have to put a roof over your head. $100. Okay, $100. How many more years you got? God willing, barring an accident, a major illness, something like that. How many more years do you feel you have in you to go and do those getaways? Right? And it's a tricky question because, and then if I have old people, I'm going to say, look, it's amazing. Sometimes I have 50-year-old kids telling me, hey, 15 years, and then you have 80-year-old people telling you, you know, I'm good for 20. So let's put it at 20. That's pretty simple math, right? 20 years. 700 times 20, that's 14,000. Hey, inflation is real. Whatever the numbers is over here, right? Inflation, I like to keep it simple, especially in 20 years. I'm going to say, okay, so look, let's calculate 5% inflation. Or I'll go to the screen and bring back and tell them, you know, I'll do the presentation on the screen, on the plasma. I'm going to ask him, so how many days, how much, inflation, 5% is cool. So then I'll come back with whatever that number, and I'll say, okay, here's our recap, right? So your way basically is going to be, hey, $40,000. Whatever the number is, $40,000. Now, in 20 years from now, or 30, whatever your rent versus own is, the amount of years, in 20 years from now, you tell me, where is that money, Bob and Mary? Now wait, it's gone. Absolutely correct. Is it a fair statement for me to say that on the money, I'm not talking about pictures, souvenirs, memory, I'm talking about the money. Is that a fair statement for me to say that is 100% loss of the money? Yes or no? Okay. Hey, but if you kept them all, you'd have a nice box of receipt from all the place you've been at. And I turn the paper and I go, hey, right now, as it stands, is that pretty much your plan? Yeah, that's pretty much. And if they backpedal, well, that's if we go every year. I'm like, okay, well, you're backpedaling, and you call them on it. So I'm like, okay, so if they do backpedal, I'm going to say, okay, so hey, you're not going to go every year. You'll go every other year. It's now X amount of dollars. Does that make sense to you? Do you truly feel in your heart of heart, do you believe that number? Okay, so that's your plan right now. Is that correct? Doesn't look too pretty good, right, when you break it down like this? So let me ask you that question. Let's play that scenario. Let's pretend you came in here today at Wyndham, and I told you, okay, here's what Wyndham has to offer. Wyndham's going to give you about a week of vacation a year. Every time you go, we're going to put you in about $100 a night accommodation. 3 of us here knows what that looks like, $100 a night. And my plan is good for 20 years. And at the end of 20 years, I'm going to give you a box of receipt from all the place we've put you at. And it's about $40,000, $50,000, not all at once. How many of these would you buy from me? Not one. I've yet to have anybody come here and say, you know what, hey, that sounds pretty good, I'll take 2. No. You wouldn't even buy your own plan right now. And guess what? If you don't change anything about it, slowly but surely, you're on your way to doing exactly that. And this part here of my presentation, guy, that's the logic part. That's where a lot of people, the little light bulb clicks. Because this is the logic of why people buy this. Because watch this. Hypothetically, if I told you that my plan, and I circle their money, and I move it to the other side, if my plan was exactly the same amount of money, if it's 40, 50, 60, I put that amount of money on that side. Draw an arrow. The same money you're going to spend anyway. Pretty wild, huh? If instead of giving you a box of receipt from that, for that $40,000, I gave you a deed and title to some actual real estate. And I show it, deed and title. So far, which one sounds better, Bob and Mary? That side, deed and title. Why? And then I ask confirmation. Why? What do you feel? Do you agree with him, Bob? Mary, do you agree with her? Yes. Okay. And when we're talking about the amount of vacation time, if I told you, okay, well, hey, my plan will give you the same amount of vacation time. Or, hey, how about if it gave you more? Would that be okay with you? Would you complain to that more for the same? Are you sure? That's what I thought. And when it came to the accommodation, what if I told you we could raise the quality of your accommodation by 5 notch? Put you in 5 times nicer accommodation. Would you complain about that one? And every single year I told you that you can use my plan to go wherever it is you choose to go on the planet. Every single year you can also give it as a gift. Let somebody else use it. Pretty nice gift. Hey, your kid's birthday, it's Christmas, anniversary. Here you go, Mom. Thanks for watching the kids. Here you go. Here's a little getaway. It's on us. We love you. Not a bad gift. If I have a guy sitting in front of me that has daughters, I'll always hit the daughter. Gift. Now watch this. I tell the guy, hey, John, I want to freak you out a little bit. How old's your daughter again? 8. What's her name? Caitlin? Okay. Watch this scenario. And I know it's gonna be hard for you to wrap your brain around this, but if in 21 years from now, little Caitlin comes to you and says, hey, Dad, he asked, Dad. After you get over the initial shock, Bob, if your daughter comes to you and said, hey, Dad, you know, I mean, I love him, and you know, my dream for my honeymoon's always been to go to Hawaii, but, you know, we're a little short. Could you help? Well, your way, Bob. I don't know what the heck it's going to cost 20 years from now to send little Caitlin on a honeymoon in Hawaii, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be more than today. Agree. With our program, as hard as it is for you to wrap your brain around this, but little Caitlin's honeymoon is already prepaid. And if she has kids, that's prepaid. Pretty cool gift. Now watch this. If in 20 years from now, or 30 years, the amount of years they tell you, if in 20 years from now you guys look at each other and say, okay, I'm done. Let's buy 2 rocking chairs and stay home. I don't want to travel anymore. Well, I know one thing you're not going to do with your program. That's call the kids over and say, hey guys, come over. Mom and Dad are done traveling. See, we bought some rocking chairs. We're done. But we have a tradition. We've been saving all of these little hotel receipts in this here box, and we'd like you the guys to have it. You laugh. What would the kids say to that? They think you're freaking loony, to put you in a loony bin. With my program, in 20 years, 30 years, whenever you're done traveling and you don't want to do it anymore, you have 2 choices. Choice 1, call the kids over and say, hey guys, we're done. But we have this plan here. It's been paid off for several years and we want you to have it now. I want you to take my grandbabies on vacation. When you're done, make sure you pass it on to them, because our program is willable in perpetuity. You can put it in your will and your estate for your kids and grandbabies to use. And if you hate your kids, and 20 years from now, and in your old days, you both get loonies and you hate your kids, when you own something, and I write own, and you don't want it anymore, what can you do with it? You can sell it. My program is sellable. How many of these receipts can you put on eBay and try, or do a little yard sale and try to get, how much money can you get back on your side? Not a dime. I like to make things that are ridiculous. You buy this today for X amount of dollar, or whatever, here, for that same amount of money you're planning on giving away. You buy it today for this, for $40,000, whatever it is. Use it for the next 20 years, and the kids don't want it for some freak reason, and you say, honey, let's sell it. Let's pretend, well, no, I'm going to ask you, what do you feel the real estate here is going to do over the next 20, 30? Go up, go down, stay the same. Let's say it's not going to go up one dime, and 20 years from now, you can only sell it for what you paid for it today. What did you lose? If you sold it for half, you're a half ahead of your way. If you sold it for $1, you're $1 ahead of your way, and you got to go on more vacation and stay in nicer places. That's why people do this. That's why we have over 900,000 families that all came like you, say, hey, we ain't buying nothing, and then something clicked. So I'm going to ask you this. Wyndham's going to ask you this. Hey, 20 years from now, if you look back and you had a choice, which column would you rather be staring at? That one. Why is that? And by you saying that, it doesn't mean you're buying anything today. It just tells me you have some common sense, right? So watch this. Now, Wyndham today is going to ask you this question. If this here can be made affordable to you, is there any reason why beyond today you would want to continue to do this? Come on, let me show you. That's my Ramblers' own, sort of.